even if you think it's a weird symptom or a weird comment that the client might have said or mentioned, to be able to throw all that data in and run it off of all the medical data and history and trends and case studies, it just allows your mind to point somewhere else, maybe give you a guide or a roadmap of what path that you as the doctor should investigate.
Welcome to How I AI, the podcast featuring real people, real stories, and real AI in action. I'm Brooke Gramer, your host and guide on this journey into the real-world impact of artificial intelligence. For over 15 years, I've worked in creative marketing, events, and business strategy, wearing all the hats. I know the struggle of trying to scale and manage all things without burning out. But here's the game changer, AI. This isn't just a podcast. How I AI is a community, a space where curious minds like you come together, share ideas, and I'll also bring you exclusive discounts and insider resources because AI isn't just a trend, it's a shift. And the sooner we embrace it, the more freedom, creativity, and opportunities we'll unlock. Have you just started exploring AI and feel a bit overwhelmed? Don't worry, I've got you. Jump on a quick start audit call with me so you can walk away with a clear and personalized plan to move forward with more confidence and ease. Join my community of AI adopters like yourself. Plus, grab my free resources, including the AI Get Started guide, or try my How I AI Companion GPT. It pulls insights from my guest interviews along with global reports so you can stay ahead of the curve. Follow the link in the description below to get started. Today's episode brings you into the world of two chiropractors who are doing things very differently. I sat down with Dr. Samantha Carney and Dr. Daniel Hulsey, who are the founders of Atlas Clinics. They specialize in a precision software technique that's changing the way people heal. Dr. Sam's path started with 8 years of chronic headaches and migraines that only shifted when she experienced upper cervical chiropractic care. That moment sent her on a mission that eventually led her to neurology training and the epic Soundwave technique that completely transformed her own health. Dr. Dan's story is just as powerful. After serving in the Army as a sniper, he came home with injuries that traditional care couldn't resolve. It wasn't until he discovered the same Soundwave approach that he finally found relief. Together, they're blending neurology, technology, and personalized structural care to help people who have been stuck finally find answers. In today's conversation, we get into how Soundwave adjustments work and how our approach to health should evolve alongside technological advancements. If you've ever wondered what's possible beyond traditional chiropractic care, this episode is going to open your eyes to a more modern blueprint to healing. All right, let's dive in. Dr. Dan, Dr. Sam, it's so wonderful to have you both on the podcast. Welcome to How I AI.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love to always open this space and give you the opportunity to share a little bit about yourself. Who wants to take it away?
I was going to say ladies first, but yeah, I'll go. My name's Dr. Dan. I'm co-owner at Atlas Clinics here in Pompano Beach. We're a modern pain relief and wellness clinic that focuses on utilizing advanced technologies to increase patient care, increase the efficiency of care, expedite healing times. And, a little bit more about me. I spent 6 years in the Army in a recon sniper platoon. And so when I had learned about this technology, the accuracy and the precision really resonated with me. Also, the fact that I went down that traditional healthcare path, seeing traditional chiropractors, physical therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, and what I had learned was, the medicines and the chemicals aren't what fixes the structural problems. You need a structural solution. And so this really just resonated with me. And after vetting the technology and sending countless friends and family members to the other clinic where we learned this technology and saw miracle after miracle and resolution after resolution, it was something that couldn't be ignored. And it was like, okay, this is like how I have to practice. I've been very fortunate to see the growth and the expansion that's taken place and the amount of reach we've been able to have with people flying in from, I think we're at like 22 countries and 6 different continents at this point. And so it's a different approach, and because of the accuracy and precision that we can offer with this tech.
Dr. Sam?
Hi, I'm Dr. Sam. My story is a little similar to Dr. Dan's in the fact that we were both patients of this technology first. My story is a little bit different. I was in a car accident. I had a concussion, and a lot of the concussion protocols out there at the time were just to rest, go home and rest. So I did that, and I slowly started to change in almost every way. I gained weight. I was anxious. I was depressed. I had headaches every day that turned into migraines, and I would be throwing up in dark rooms. And traditional chiropractic care definitely helped and definitely got me on the right path. But I had to go 3 times a week. It was draining, it was exhausting. But that kind of path led me to chiropractic care. And while I was in school, I met Dr. Dan, who was, like he said, sending his friends, sending his family. And he told me to go and get this adjustment done. And it was the first time in my life that I had felt clear headed. And after that, my life changed. I graduated with honors. I lost 60 pounds, no longer anxious, depressed, able to open up a business and treat patients. And it was life changing for me. So, kind of similar to Dan, it's ethically, how do you treat anybody other than the way that just changed your life? So, we kind of dove very far into this technique, got trained, and opened up right after graduation. And it's been a blessing ever since.
Wow, that's incredible. What cool intro stories that you both shared and how you got into exactly what you're doing now. So, neither of you are strangers to technology. Maybe each of you can share when you first started using AI, whether that's for your business or even personally.
Yeah. I think for me, it was probably about a year ago when I was aware of it, but it was one of those new things where you're just like kind of not sure. And so I would dabble with little random questions, and it was almost like a better version of Google is how I started to use it. Fun facts or things I was just curious about. And then as I saw it gaining more attraction and hearing from other providers and other biohackers, especially of how they were utilizing it to help create protocols and do a deeper analysis and correlation of blood tests and a GI microbiome mapping, and then correlating with lumbar x-rays and its ability to kind of take it all together. It was like, wow, this is much bigger than I thought it was. And yeah, I would say about a year ago was when we started dabbling with it. And now, I mean, it's one of the main tabs up on our browser, and I would be hard pressed to argue that we don't use it at some point almost daily.
Yeah.
And what about you, Dr. Sam?
Definitely professionally, personally, lots of usage, especially being a business owner, asking it for ideas of how to get patients in, how to retain those patients, fun contests we can do in the office. There was personally, I used it. I had to lose weight to fit into my wedding dress. And I asked it what I should do, what I should eat. I started logging all my food, and I put my entire food map in there, and it told me all of the supplements that I was missing that I wasn't getting through my diet. So it just kind of goes very extensive and beyond what our human minds can do, just knowing the knowledge that we know. So there's been multiple areas, and it's super fun and cool to see it change and grow with us too.
Thank you for sharing. The health tech industry is just booming. So many people are really starting to link up their personal data and have this holistic approach of their total health. I'm curious, so you shared that you use it a lot for patient workflow. What's your current technology stack? Do you use any specific softwares for your work? I'm curious to hear.
Yeah, we've bounced back and forth in between ChatGPT and Grok. I would say that Grok is the one that we utilize more. And honestly, it's only because I've been told that ChatGPT is censored, where Grok is a little more open source and less censoring that was put in. Whether there's truth to that or not, I don't know. But I like the functionality of Grok, and I can't even place like a statement or phrase of why. I just am more comfortable with that one. And
I honestly think it was because when we started using Grok, you were able to upload photos. So
that
for
actually
me, taking a screenshot of my foods and uploading it into Grok, it was just much easier to do it that way. And I haven't even used ChatGPT to know if they have now upload photos in that
they do,
access.
But yeah, no, that was.
I think that was the main thing of why we switched to Grok and why we've kind of been headstrong with Grok ever since. But
Yeah, I know it's connected to Twitter. So it's really got its finger on the pulse of culture and news that's coming out. And it's really good for getting into probably the heads of your patients and what people are experiencing in real time if you're ever wanting to like think about social media campaigns and tie those together. This is why I love asking this question, because we all gravitate towards different tools and different things that we're learning. I'd love to dive in a little bit deeper, and I'm curious how it's supported growing your business. Has it helped you with scaling or hiring? And if you've used it in that way at all with your company?
All of the above. Most recently, it's really been a huge help for helping build like pro forma budgets for the following years and being able to import all the old data and expenses, incomes, and not only for it just to organize what we have, but then also give me percentage breakdowns of what is normal in our profession for how much percentage of the budget should be allocated to XYZ. It helps give really nice projections and forecasts based off your trends of what you've already done. And now that we have a few years of data, it's helping pre-plan marketing strategies for next year because we kind of know where those dips are. And that's just like on the financial aspect. But even when we were helping work with our lawyer and develop terms we wanted for the hiring of our new associate doctor, using it for, we have maybe a tough case or something that's going on. And it's like, you know what? I don't have the encyclopedia memorized or WebMD memorized. So it's really nice sometimes to throw, even if you think it's a weird symptom or a weird comment that the client might have said or mentioned, to be able to throw all that data in and run it off of all the medical data and history and trends and case studies. It just allows your mind to point somewhere else. I know we're going to talk a little bit later about some of the shortcomings maybe of it. So there are some safety precautions and asterisks when I say that. However, it does help maybe give you a guide or a roadmap of what path that you as the doctor should investigate.
It's also really nice too, because when you're in school and you're learning the medical profession, they'll give you like buzzwords. So to use it also as like a tool to say, okay, this is what they're involved in. I've also used it for like rehab plans. Hey, use these exercises and create a rehab plan for this patient that's struggling with this. And it just in 30 seconds creates it and it's good to go, ready to use. So
we can even input, even on that note, like you can do a full examination and say, weakness or loss of range of motion in this specific muscle, this, put a picture of an x-ray in, and then let it completely correlate and help give a guide for exactly, okay, they're 3 weeks post-surgery or they're 6 weeks post-accident. And it will put them right in the plan where they need to be to allow it to move forward. And that's just patient care. But shoot, I mean, we've used it for email templates, writing doctor's notes for people, just simple tasks that are mundane that you don't really need a spot check for. It's a time consuming task. This is so nice to expedite the amount of time we would have been spending previously.
I'm very much a science and math person. So you asking me to write out something, that's going to take me 10 minutes to get over my little writer's block. Whereas if you just put it in AI, it will just type something up perfect, clean, nice. You just edit a couple words out and you're good to go.
I agree. Copywriting is one of my favorite ways to get support. And Dr. Dan, you shared a little bit about any challenges and things to really be mindful of, especially as a doctor in the healthcare practice. How are you really walking that fine line of being mindful, of course, of HIPAA, private data, and client-patient confidentiality? What are the things that you're really being mindful of and not letting it hinder you from technology to support your business?
Yeah, I mean, the simple answer is it should be used as a guide. And like, that is it. It's not the end all be all. If you're uploading documents, obviously you're keeping the patient's information out of it. If we screenshot an x-ray, it's just of a spine or of an elbow or a knee. I don't have any patient info in there that's not going to allow it to learn or extract their data. It's almost like a non-biased opinion of what it could be seeing. But even with that said, I've seen shortcomings where you'll put an image into x-ray into the ChatGPT and it starts giving you these off the wall things that are like, okay, like we're maybe not there completely yet. Also, I've noticed on some of the math side of the coin, sometimes it struggles a little bit with certain mathematical type figures, or even certain documents. If you upload and say extract the data from this chart, it will sometimes make errors, and where you had a 1 in there, it puts a 7. And if you're not adding those little human loops for you to be able to spot check as you move through a problem, now basing decisions off of false data from still operator error, or AI error, but our inability to catch that. So I think the short answer there is it's a guide. It's not as easy as put the patient stuff in and print it out and that's what you give them. Absolutely not. But it's a good checkpoint and a guide to help comb through the mess.
Yeah, I think definitely double checking, especially I know a lot of times it will give you research articles and then you go and you dive into those research articles and it's just either not available, it's made up, or it's completely different than the topic that we're talking about. So definitely spot checking everything that it tells you is super important, just to make sure that it's getting off the message that you want to get off or doing the thing that you want it to do.
I always say treat AI as if it was an intern you just hired. Would you take their work as is, or would you do some checking and double?
100%.
How I AI is brought to you in partnership with the Collective AI, a space designed to accelerate your learning and AI adoption. I joined the Collective and it's completely catapulted my learning, expanded my network, and showed me what's possible with AI. Whether you're just starting out, seeking community, or want done-for-you solutions, the Collective gives you the resources to grow your business with AI. So, one of my favorite questions to ask, and maybe you could get in the mind of where you see any gaps in the market or where you see a lot of opportunity now that we're blending and merging with technology even deeper. If you could wave a magic wand, or if you could vibe code and create your own apps, like what would you make that would really support you right now?
I'll go.
Yeah, please.
So we put all of our x-rays into a software analysis system to measure the misalignments down to the 100th of a degree. And that is all manually done. We're dropping the lines, we're doing this, but all of the lines are dropped on the same place on every single patient. So if we could create an AI template to completely analyze the x-rays for us, that would be awesome.
Really that
great.
would be huge. I think as the system gets better with even the mathematics that we talked about, a lot of the formulas that we use to get our vectors to make the adjustment and solve that problem, it was based off of work that was done, I want to say 10, 15 years ago with a university like Georgia Southern. And they helped, create the math of what needs to happen with this type of a machine that delivers that vector. I am of the mindset that with the better technology and better mathematics and understanding angles better now than obviously what we could 15 years ago, I think there's more precision or accuracy to be found through AI. And I also think that some kind of I don't know if the app is the right word, but some kind of an AI portal where you could put, all the blood work. It's just basically 6 or 7 different facets of the person's health and allow it to give you one full culmination of a patient health score. Try to establish baselines based off of the population, have enough data in there to understand trends of where typically people fall. And instead of just looking at blood work as the high priority or as this microbiome gut test, but almost let it assign ratios to each one of those and really come up with a full picture of what's going on with that individual. How do some of these different things all correlate and link together? Which of these are comorbidities that are separate from some of the other problems or disorders they're dealing with, but really give you a full view of the entire patient. And maybe it is out there and I don't know about it yet, but something like that I think would be very beneficial. And maybe not even so much for us as a doc, obviously, yes, but I think for a patient education tool for the patient to understand what's going on with them and for it to give, whether it translates it into like a bar graph and some visual representation or an easy scale. Hey, 100 is the best health you can have. You're at a 74 and these are the reasons why. And so now you're working on the other realms. As those improve, your health score improves, with the goal of getting closer to 100 based on your age, demographics, lifestyle choices, etc. There's a lot of variables in health. So I think using AI to help keep them all in one house makes it easier for both patient and doctor.
I'm seeing a lot of consistencies with your responses. With one of my recent interviewees was with Dr. Akash, and he works a lot with early cancer detection. And he was sharing about how a lot of x-rays and medical scans are now being digitized. And so, Dr. Sam, that is very much going to be in the near future that you'll see a lot of that progress with x-ray scans and accuracy and being able to read them, and even having medical teams across the world being able to read scans on your behalf. This is all happening in real time, which is really exciting. And Dr. Dan, to respond to yours, there are absolutely a lot of companies already doing this in health and wellness. One of them specifically is called Heads Up Health, and they were one of the speakers at the biohacking conference that we both attended recently. I interviewed David, the founder, and so that's coming through on the podcast soon. And just this past weekend, I was at an event here in Miami. It was hosted by Betterness AI. And what both of those companies do is just to your point, and it's putting all of our biomarkers, all of our Aura Ring, all of our blood work, all of our doctor, forms and everything in one space to have this like total complete view of our wellness.
Cool.
I haven't heard very much about, better communication, like you said, between doctor and patient. I think that individually, speaking as a patient, and, for listeners to know, I'm actually a patient of Atlas Clinics and can very much sing their praises of my personal experience with knee pain and back pain and how it supported me so much. But I think patients are just kind of using ChatGPT on the side, being like, what did my doctor say? What does this really mean?
Yeah. Accountability.
Yeah. So it is really exciting time to see. And I could see a lot of benefit of you partnering with companies like this and being a case study and helping them make their tools and apps even more efficient. But that leads me into my next question is, where do you see the chiropractic care industry going in the next handful of years? How will it be more efficient and progressing? And do you think more people will begin to learn about the benefits of the Atlas bone? I know that what you do is like hyper individualized and unique. I'm curious what each of you think, what's coming in the next few years with all of this rapid technological advancement and, so much more information we now have with our health, and curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm hoping that, we've even had patients that have found us through literally ChatGPT, through AI. So I'm hoping that we get a better rap to say as chiropractors, and specifically upper cervical chiropractors. A lot of times you hear chiropractic and it's a very polarizing thing. You either love us or you hate us. But chiropractic care, it truly just, it works. So I'm hoping that ChatGPT AI is kind of able to see how useful we are and how we can truly help people. And I hope that with that, just it puts more pressure on the chiropractors to deliver more accurate adjustments, get better results, because there are other clinics out there that are doing that. And so hopefully AI will kind of learn what all is out there and be able to have patients that are asking questions, where should I go for this? Hopefully we are in that conversation as well, because we help a lot of people out with different things.
And what about you, Dr. Dan?
Yeah. Personally, I think as we progress with technology and AI becomes more of a, household name in all homes and they start utilizing it, I think because of the accuracy and precision, people are going to start to wake up that there is a better way in chiropractic. Like Dr. Sam said, most people have either had heard miracle stories or horror stories. And, if you say the word chiropractor, and all you that are listening, the first things that come into your mind is, I have to go 3 times a week forever, and I have to get my neck twisted and popped and cracked. And they kind of just do the same adjustments every time. That's the stereotype of a chiropractor, typically when I speak to someone. And so for them to be educated and understand that, dang, there is a more efficient way versus what's traditionally known as chiropractors. And as technology improves and makes it easier for doctors to learn and deliver this level of care, I think we're going to start to see more of the traditional chiropractors being phased out, not only because they'll be more open-minded to learning something that is hyper individualized and personalized to each patient, but I also think that because of the demand, it will require it. I think the patients will want something that is more long lasting. I mean, if you had the option of 32 visits over 6 months or 4 visits over 6 months and you actually had increased healing, I think it's a no-brainer. And you saving money. I don't see why people would want to stay stuck in something that has been practiced since the early 1900s. I mean, we're in the 21st century now, and it's, I always give the analogy, if you're going to get surgery on your shoulder, do you want the gentleman with a scalpel or do you want the Da Vinci robot? I think people are naturally going to progress towards utilizing technology more in their clinics.
I was having this conversation with a colleague recently, and we had different opinions on if you had the option to have a robot do surgery on you versus a person, what do you prefer? But it's only a matter of time before we become more comfortable with those types of things.
Yeah. Well, is a robot doing the surgery, or is it a surgeon that is controlling technology to deliver the surgery? That's more what I'm getting at. In the thought of like a Will Smith AI robot slicing and dicing me, I'm also hesitant. A trained surgeon operating a piece of technology with robotic features, I can cross that bridge.
Absolutely. And it's great to hear that you're already thinking about AI search visibility. One of my clients right now is a dentist, and I'm helping them with their, chat GPT results and positioning themselves in the market. I think a lot of businesses like yourself, which I'm sure a lot of people find you through things like Google search and ratings and reviews online, how important it is to start to position your business in the market where people are finding and learning about solutions to their health in different ways now than ever. Well, to wrap up our conversation now, I love to leave space at the end of this talk for each of you to share what's one main key takeaway you'd love for listeners to get from this episode.
Go get your atlas checked. If you're suffering with pain, headaches, dizziness, brain fog, you're not stuck like that. Your body is fixable. Your body was quite literally made to heal itself. So if you're just not getting the results that you want from any of the providers that you're going to, there are other options out there. So talk to ChatGPT about the Atlas bone and learn about it, because it truly changed my entire life. So that would be my one thing.
Oh, a lot of small caveat to that, just to help the viewers understand a little more. But that region of the spine, without getting into the Greek mythology of Atlas holding the world on his shoulders, right? Atlas is the very first bone that is supporting a 14-pound bowling ball, but it also regulates our vagus nerve. It regulates the amount of healthy oxygenated blood going to the head and the amount of dirty, toxic blood that has to drain out. That region of the spine is highly vulnerable because its shape is completely different than all the other vertebrae. Everyone's heard of herniations, bulging discs. There are no discs above or below that bone. So it allows you to have more mobility, but it's also more vulnerable to being misaligned. Most doctors aren't checking that region of the spine, and the lasting effect comes globally from the whole body when adjusting that spot, because it also happens to protect and regulate brainstem. Brainstem controls everything. And so for us, it's go to the source of the problem, remove that interference, and like Dr. Sam said, allow that body to heal as the intelligent design intended. I would say keep an open mind as technology keeps progressing. More and more is going to come out where someone who has a fixated mindset is just going to be close to it. I think you're really shortchanging yourself. And I'm not even talking Atlas in our business at this point. I'm talking just life in general. I think your ability to think outside the box and have an open mind of new things that you may not be aware of, just because you haven't heard about it doesn't mean there's no validity to it. So I think having an open mind will allow more opportunities to flow in. And I think that's kind of like the whole point, right?
That is the whole point. I think that that merges so well with the type of people that I imagine, really enjoy AI podcasts. It's people that are adapters and people that can shift and pivot. And it really makes sense that our approach to health should start to catch up to all of this technology and new information. And the ways that we have approached things in the past are shifting. And, everything that you shared about the brainstem is information we didn't have many years ago. And so the way that we approach health should evolve as technology evolves.
100%.
What a beautiful final statement. And if listeners want to reach out to each of you, how can they connect?
Yeah, so our website is the easiest, quickest way, www.atlasclinics.com. Clinics is plural. Not only do we have the office here in Pompano Beach, but we also have an office in Palm Harbor, Florida, so northwest of Tampa. Social media at Atlas Clinics Pompano, and that's for our Instagram, our Facebook, and our YouTube as well. And Pompano at atlasclinics.com is the email. Please, if you're watching this, reach out, use this as a resource. There's no cost to have a phone call and learn more. And even if it's just guidance, even if you're outside of our 2 locations, we have a network of doctors we work with across the entire country that we have the ability to help get people situated where they need to be. So please use this as a resource and
let us help.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. I know that you both have many, many patients to get back to, and I appreciate you just taking time to share a bit about this technology and your personal use. I really enjoyed this conversation. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Really appreciate it. It's been enlightening, and it's cool to share, and I'll be excited to dive through some of your other episodes and learn a little more about what other people are saying.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Wow. I hope today's episode opened your mind to what's possible with AI. Do you have a cool use case on how you're using AI and want to share it? DM me. I'd love to hear more and feature you on my next podcast. Until next time, here's to working smarter, not harder. See you on the next episode of How I AI. This episode was made possible in partnership with the Collective AI, a community designed to help entrepreneurs, creators, and professionals seamlessly integrate AI into their workflows. One of the biggest game changers in my own AI journey was joining this space. It's where I learned, connected, and truly enhanced my understanding of what's possible with AI. And the best part, they offer multiple membership levels to meet you where you are. Whether you want to DIY your AI learning or work with a personalized AI consultant for your business, the Collective has you covered. Learn more and sign up using my exclusive link in the show notes.